Hi, I'm Terry with AV Showrooms.
Hi, I'm Peter Breuninger with AV Showrooms, and we're here to report Reviewer's View on HiFi Deluxe 2016. How would you rate the show this year?
I rate it at the top of the shows of shows. It's always been one of my favorite shows. It's small, it's intimate, it has lots of creativity flowing through those halls and rooms.
Agreed.
The people that run it make sure that it runs smoothly and that people are actually having fun, enjoying music. The hotel is filled with audio people from the HiFi Deluxe in the lobby, in the halls, in the rooms, so you feel like we own the show.
Yeah, it is.
At the Marriott Hotel.
It is. It's if the whole Marriott has turned into a hi-fi show.
Yeah.
And you bump into people you know in the hallways, you bump into people at dinner, you bump into people at breakfast, you see the stars of high-end milling about. People that don't even exhibit at HiFi Deluxe stay there because of the big show that's 7 kilometers up the street, High-End Society's big show in Munich, and they run simultaneously, and it's a grand idea because you have the small intimate show that attracts the really creative people and some of the best sound, I think, in high-end audio today.
That's the appeal to HiFi Deluxe for me too.
Yep.
Let me start with a room that I thought sounded very, very good, which was Malvalve. The proprietor, Dieter Malik, always has good sound in that room, Peter, in the room, Peter. But this year it was just a little bit better, don't you think?
I don't know what it was. He puts the speakers in the same place in the room year after year. We've been going several years now in a row. He has the same room, but this year, whatever, if he had him in a half an inch, or you know how it is in high performance audio, every little change means something.
Yeah, and he's introducing a new amplifier. I want to interject here.
Yeah,
that's important because you can use headphones. It could be a headphone amplifier or a loudspeaker amplifier. And what's interesting, because you always told me that Dieter Malik has unique product, and I finally said, look, tell me what's so unique about his product. And you explained to me that he uses an outboard output transformer.
That's right. I gotta give her an A+ on that one.
Because yesterday to me what that means, and I kind of understand it. So now I'm taking more of an interest in his products because you told me that you don't know anybody else who uses an outboard output transformer.
That's right. That's for tube amps, because tube amps, you have to have the transformer to convert the signal so it can drive the loudspeaker itself. And he puts them in their own canisters, and they're huge. So that if you could imagine a standard sized large format tube amplifier, and then if you could take the output transformers off and make the chassis even bigger and put the output transformers closer to the speakers, if they were all in one, it would be humongous and it would be hard to move. I think it's a genius idea for another reason as well. A lot of people like to put their amplifiers closer to the loudspeakers. And we like to have shorter loudspeaker runs than we do interconnect runs.
Right.
And we get better sound that way. So you really don't want to go over 4 meters if you can on your speaker runs. And this gives you the ability, if you use you can use monoblocks or you can use his stereo amplifier, but if you use the outboard output transformers, they can sit right next to the loudspeaker. So you could have only a 2-meter run of speaker cable.
Yeah.
I mean, how cool is that? I mean, I don't know anybody else doing it in the industry today. On top of it, the speakers are unique, and we talked about this last year too. They're a combination of electrostatic tweeters and mid-range and magnetic static woofers. So you have this speed and coherency, even though they're 3 separate drive units. Very, very unique.
And magnetic static, this is the only time I ever hear that word. I think, is that Dieter's invention?
I believe that he might be one of the few, if the only, using this technology for low frequency reproduction in a loudspeaker today. They are simply stunningly coherent.
Well, it sounded beautiful, and we played the Breuninger Besson new album or CD.
Yeah, Conversations. Yeah.
And we played Spring Commitment, and Anne sings in Mandarin.
Yeah.
And she's accompanied by Vincent Breuninger on the cello, and it's
Yep.
simply beautiful song.
Stunning.
And
Stunning.
it started off our HiFi Deluxe experience on the right notes. So,
It sure did.
so
And
congratulations, Stephen.
yeah, congratulations. It's surely one of the best sounds, if not the best sound at the show. And here we go. Malvalve.
Le vent souffle encore, la neige craque sous tes pas, la maison qui dort, tu regardes une dernière fois, tirer vers l'avant, emporté par...
So Dieter Malik from Malvalve, we want to give you a big thumbs up and a big shout out. It was fantastic, just fantastic room. And you'll see in the video, this year was kind of cool too. Instead of having black cloth as a backdrop for his components to sit upon,
It's a grayish.
it's a grayish silver, so that
it was easier to see them in film than I think.
yeah, easier to see in film, and you'll see in the video.
Okay. And right across the hall was Mytech.
Mytech.
The owner, Thomas, was showing his electric static speakers, full range. He had them, he drove them with the Einstein and Malvalve electronics, I believe. So they had that signature that I always hear in the Einstein and Malvalve rooms, which I like very much. These electrostatics were just beautiful. I mean, if that's your style of speaker, this is probably one of the best I've ever heard. And it's the second year in a row I've heard them.
Yeah, and he what he's effectively doing is he's taking the old technology from Acoustat and he's reinvented it, and he's remanufactured it, and he's made the panels thicker. He's used, and you'll see it in the video, the webbing that holds the drive units together is of higher and heavier duty quality than Acoustat uses. So he's able to get much more punch in the low end. And yet it's still a full range electrostatic. So you have that coherency and that delicacy that electrostatics are known for, but you have again, more punch. And I'll tell you, it was outstanding.
Nice. We played Mike Valentine's Chasing the Dragon, a track with harp, just a harp, and it was beautiful decay.
Yep, it was
And
really, it was beautiful.
A product worth looking into. Mytech, it's called Mitec. You'll see
Yep.
the video.
Yep, you'll see it in the video. Another great room was the Acapella room.
Oh yeah, always.
Always.
Herman Winters always runs a good room.
He runs a great room. We came in, they were playing some Miles Davis
Oh
live.
my God!
Oh
it
my
just sucked me
gosh.
in. Miles just is like a drug for me, and I don't think I've ever heard Miles more compelling.
Yeah,
maybe
more
at our
real.
house, but. And
But he never came to our house.
Maybe, no, I mean, over our sister. Or maybe in person, but no, this was really something. And I just knew right away that they would be a contender for a Gold Show Award for Sound.
Yeah.
And let's see, audio concept.
How about that? Yep.
Now, this is
Yep.
a room that was like entering into another world. The design in this room is, I'm telling you, if you watch no other video, you've got to see this one.
This is the video of videos.
I applaud these guys for matching the sound with the look, the visual, because both are equally important to designers and creative people like themselves. Obviously, they're very creative. You see this equipment in the video, you're not going to believe it. And the loudspeakers alone, I mean, they're 200 kilos each, guys, each. And the speaker sits on top of the crossover.
It's bizarre. And then each speaker is a
They look like
fastened.
little spacemen, or big spacemen.
Yeah, and the speakers are attached to the towers, these triangular towers with thick rubber type bands so that they can float a little bit in space, and the vibration from one unit doesn't affect the sound from the unit below, so that you have really, really good coherency and no smearing of frequencies from bass, treble to mid-range.
And this is just the loudspeaker. Wait,
Yeah.
the other stuff is equally as compelling.
Yeah, we'll just leave it at that. It's a video.
And you know what? I said in my sidebar, Peter, that doubly satisfying was that the sound was equally as interesting as the
It was fascinating.
design.
Yeah.
It had a very sophisticated sound,
Yep.
very emotionally appealing.
Mhm.
We played from Conversations, Spring Commitment, with Besson and Breuninger, and it was very, very good.
Yeah,
so
very
it
good.
really ranked up there as one
Yeah,
of the best sounds of the show.
Yeah, you guys are gonna love this. But I think it might be the most creative video we've ever
it's
shot.
fun, if nothing else.
Yeah,
It's fun.
we've ever shot
With
in our
serious
whole career.
sound, though.
Yep. Let's see another room. Let me throw a room out. And this was done at the last show we were at. We were at Expona, and in the audio note room, they had Vincent Belanger live playing with Vincent Belanger recorded.
Yes.
Yeah, so there was Vincent recorded one channel of him playing one part of a trio in one channel and another part of a trio in the other channel, and he sat in between the speakers. Well, in Expona, it came through pretty well, but it was just magical.
Yeah, it's always nothing less than magical.
But this time.
He's just so expert in his craft. And Alex is the German distributor at HiFi Deluxe for Audio Note, and did a wonderful job of organizing room times, schedules when you could come in and listen to the full session.
Yeah.
And it was packed to the doors. I mean, you could barely get a seat.
You could barely get a seat. And we were very, very fortunate to be off to the side. We got the camera in so you could see both speakers just at the edge of the frame, and Vincent right in the middle.
Yeah.
And he did a take for us. And when the take was over and we shut the camera and the red light turned off, he looked up at me and he said, "Peter," he said, "I think that's the best I've ever done this." So we have that on video for you. Wait till you see it. Wait till you see it.
Another room?
Another room.
JMF.
Horns.
French company.
French company. It was as natural sounding as you could get a horn to be. You had none of this honky horn sound. It sounded as if the players were right in the room. Again, I think we played Belanger and Besson again.
We played Spring Commitment, and an attendee said, "Please play more." So we played the first track, which is La Vent Soufflé Encore. But it's Anne singing in French and accompanied by Belanger.
Yeah.
And the attendee was just silent. He got up and he said, "This is the best sound I've heard at the show."
Yeah.
He was thrilled between the room and a non-fatiguing sound. What did you call it? Something you could sit in front of all day long and listen.
That's the thing. JMF sound altogether is they did also had electronics in the room.
That's right. That was JMF too.
As well. So,
yeah. So that was
that was just I don't know.
Very, very special, and they have their own sound, and that's what I appreciate. Everybody does their own kind of sound, and not one is not necessarily better than the other. It's just it's what you prefer.
Yep.
And I'll be honest with you, I like several sounds. I don't have one distinct.
No, and I agree with that. I mean, I can be as enthralled in the audio note sound as we have set up here in our listening studio number 1, as I can be for example, at the HiFi Deluxe show in Dieter Malick's room, listening to the electrostatic, magnetic static speakers.
Or in Tirage Vertere room, the Vertere turntables, which is a much more dynamic sound. It has those...
same speakers, same type of speaker as last year, but he had his turntable built into a stand that actually had a lid on it, the stand itself, and it was a platform that was anti-vibrational. So he took his turntable to a new level because of the platform that he had it installed upon. I was very, very impressed with the sound of that room. It was very dynamic and natural and punchy. And it was just because last year I remember it was one of those things where boom, it would just knock you out with punch.
It's a fun room.
It's a fun room. Very fun room.
It makes you want to dance room. I've got one more, Peter, before we go any further. Viva. that room was one of my favorites.
Mhm.
It's a horn speaker. It's called the Viva Nuda, and you also had Viva electronics in that room.
Mhm.
And the front end was a Vertere top of the line turntable, I think called the Reference,
Mhm.
and
Mhm.
you'll see that in the video. These horn speakers were like very different from other.
Yeah,
ones.
you'll see it. They sit a little lower and wider. But
Yeah, but you could sit or walk around that room anywhere, and it still sounded very, very good. And I noticed that, and then I left the room, and I said to Gary Coe, who was in the hall talking to folks.
Yeah, he's president and chief designer of Genesis loudspeaker
That's right.
technologies.
And I said something about he loved the room too, and he said the same thing I did, that they're not sweet spot horns.
No, no.
And the sound was just incredibly beautiful. There was such great tonal quality, a great superb decay, everything. And then the room operator, after we finished filming, played Suzy Q.
Oh yeah.
And boy, I mean, it
Cool.
made me want to sing along. And then young
Yeah.
German guys are laughing at this old lady singing along to Suzy Q.
Get out of here.
I remember that song. Anyway, I got a kick out of it, and that was a lot of fun in that room.
That was a lot of fun in that room. I'll throw a room out there. FM Acoustics.
Oh well, Manny always has such fabulous sound in his
Yeah.
room, and as usual, he has the large speakers on one side and the small on the other side, and you just turn the chairs around.
Turn
so
the
you
chairs
can hear
around.
the two systems.
Yeah.
We heard the large,
We heard the large.
which was very good.
It was really good, and I asked the room operator to put on the test pressing of Vanessa Fernandez's new album, When the Levee Breaks, doing Led Zepp covers, and I thought it was very, very coherent top to bottom, and it was some of the best I have heard that track at HiFi Deluxe, and also from the other show as well. It was a very, very, very good room.
Yeah, as expected.
Yeah, I also want to throw out a room that caught my eye this year. In their first time exhibiting in Germany, do you know who I mean?
Zesto.
Zesto. George and Carolyn from Zesto have come on the audio scene within the past 5 years producing tube amplifiers that sound like music. They don't sound like tubes. They don't sound like solid state. They sound like music.
Yes, they do.
They sound like music, and they were exhibiting with Jeff Josephs.
Yeah, very
And
nice.
Very nice room. So big shout out to the Zestos. Guys, check out the Zesto. They had the Phonastage. They had the new amplifier. It was really, the design of that has that curved look to it.
Yeah, very attractive.
Very, very, very attractive look to the
Always good
Zesto
sound.
products. Yeah.
With Jeff Joseph. Very, very nice.
Always good
Congratulations for your first time.
sound. Yeah, there you go.
I hope to see you next year.
Yep. Well, HiFi Deluxe is one of those shows that you have to see and hear and attend to experience. Now, you'll see we've captured almost every room in video. Okay, my favorite part of the reviewer's view. What would I take home from the show? Terry, I'm going to throw it to you. What would you take
Well,
home?
I did give this some thought, and it's going to be the Malvalve, or a Malvalve monoblock amp.
Wow.
Because I want to know about these outboard output transformers and what really happens when you
Yeah.
put them in your room. And I would love to have that unique product that sounds so good at the show in my house. So that's it.
Well, I would like to take home those loudspeakers that are in like a spaceship type room.
That would be interesting.
Just for the visual aspect of it, and put them in. We have listening studio number 2, which is effectively an art gallery we have in our home. We collect art, and they would just go in that room, and it would be perfectly matched.
It would be nice
for the room. And the sound, I'd like to hear those perhaps with that Malvalve amplifier. There you go. Wow.
Interesting, exotic stuff.
Interesting, exotic. So all in all, HiFi Deluxe this year was, I think, the best HiFi Deluxe I've attended. Last year I thought the sound was maybe a little off. This year everybody was spot on.
It was very difficult focusing on just certain rooms for a reviewer's view, but you have to bring out the highlights for people.
You have to.
Because every room really had some merit and value with the sound. I mean, there was no doubt. There were no bad sounding rooms.
No bad
And
sounding
I think
rooms.
there were something like 21 rooms. So excellent show. I'm glad I'm invited every year. I'm glad to be a part of it, and look forward to next year already.
Well, we look forward to showing you the videos from HiFi Deluxe, and we'll be publishing them throughout the next month and a half. And as the videos come out, take your time, watch them carefully, focus in on that sound that our Omni's capture, and you're going to have a blast, and it's like being there with us. Right?
Right, and thank you for watching.
Thank you for watching Reviewer's View for HiFi Deluxe 2016. Thank you, and happy listening. Bye. And here are two of the beautiful women who run the HiFi show. How are you guys today?
We're good, how are
You have attracted so many wonderful high-end exhibits. You have such beautiful sound at the show. You're such great organizers.
you? Thank you.
Great. Just wanted to introduce everybody to the world. And your name is?
Nina.
Hi, Nina. How are you?
I'm good, how are you?
Good. And your name is?
Judith, hello.
Hello, Judith. How are you?
Very good.
I want to thank you guys for another spectacular HiFi Deluxe, for running the show impeccably and having great exhibits.
Thank you, Sue.